Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Miles MUA, and let's get straight into this makeup look. This look today is on my dear friend Natosha. Their pronouns are they and them. All I'm doing right now is priming the eye with the MAC Paint Pot and Painterly, and then I'm going to take my Sigma E25 brush and then just blend the edges of all that together. Today's look, I'm going to use the James Charles X Morphe palette, and I'm going to take that same Sigma E25 brush and start with the royal blue shade from the palette called Cola. And then I'm going to make sure that the most of the pigment is on the outer perimeter of the eye, and then as I go inwards, I'm loosening up my grip so that we get a nice gradient effect. Okay, now I'm going to take my Sigma E25 brush again and then take the lime green shade called Social Blade, and then in circular motions I'm going to blend those two colors together. I'm going to tap off the excess and just make sure that the bristles are just lightly gliding so that I can get this really seamless blend. And then I'm going to take my Sigma E35 brush and take the color B, which is this bright yellow shade, and just blend those edges together. And I'm just going to speed it up a little. I love that Sigma E35 brush. The bristles are just really nice and loose. It blends everything together seamlessly, and yeah, it's a great brush. Now I'm going to take my Morphe M562, and to really deepen out that outer corner of the eye, I'm going to take more of that cola shade, more of that royal blue shade, and in circular motions, use that Morphe tiny crease brush and just really define the outer portions of the crease so that when this is all done, it has this really nice contoured eye effect. And I love using this brush to really deepen and define the outer V. I'll leave all of the brush links in the description bar below. So now I'm going to take my Morphe M167 and I'm going to gently pack on this beautiful icy blue shimmer shade from the James Charles palette. And that icy blue shimmer shade is called Cola. And now I'm going to take the color Guac, which is this beautiful green shimmer shade, and then just pack that onto the inner part of the eye. And I'm going to make sure that I gently pat it so that I can blend those two together. If I rub it on instead of pat it on, it'll actually become kind of streaky, and I don't want that. I want those two colors to seem like they're all just one, and just like this beautiful green to blue to dark blue blend on the eye, and it just looks so sexy and nice. And then I'm going to take that Morphe M562 brush again and just really get that outer corner of the eye again. And any edges that seem just slightly unblended, I'm just going to make sure I blend those all together in my Sigma E25 brush again. Now I'm taking my MAC Fluid Line eyeliner and my Sigma L05 brush, and I'm going to stamp on this eyeliner. This eyeliner is not necessarily super black, so I make sure that I stamp it on so that I can get as much pigment as I want. And then if I don't really like the deepness of the black, something that I'll always do is to go into another palette, take a black from that palette, and then literally stamp that on top of that black eyeliner. For complexion today, I'm doing something slightly different. I decided to actually use concealer for the foundation, the highlight, and the contour. I'm taking my Sigma contour brush and I'm going to begin to highlight their face. I'm using Juvia's Place J9 concealer, and I'm just going to hit all the high points of their face. I decided to use concealer today because I wanted the skin to be very glowy, very sheer, almost like they have nothing on their face. But I wanted to make sure that it photographs very well on camera. So I'm making sure that I'm using this full coverage concealer and I'm shearing it out, and I'm not using a heavy hand at all. I'm really just brushing this onto their face and making sure that I really highlight all the high points, and I don't want this to be a full coverage glam today. And then I'm just gonna take a little bit of that sponge and just blend out right underneath the eye. and around the lips. Now I'm going to use my Sonia Kashuk highlighting brush, and I'm going to take the shade J7 from that Juvia's Place I Am Magic concealer, and I am feathering that onto their skin. Like I said, I don't want this to be a full coverage glam. I want it to be this glow from within type of vibe. So I'm just feathering that on and making sure that I have a light hand so that I can continue to build up the pigment if I want it. Like I said, this Juvia's Place I Am Magic concealer is full coverage, but it is a concealer. So I think I just added a little bit of moisturizer to it just to make sure that it's sheared out, and then when I feather it on, I'm going in these circular motions, making sure that it's just really blending right into their skin. And yeah, it's a great concealer. You can use the concealer for foundation, for highlight, for contour. Okay, and now I'm going to take my Sonia Kashuk oval brush and I'm going to begin to contour their face, starting at the forehead, and then I'm going to go to the sides, just making sure I'm painting that in, and then I'm going to blend it out. And I believe the shade I am using is J2. Okay, now I'm taking my favorite blending sponge, and it's the Sonia Kashuk blending sponge. And one tip to use the sponge is that you have to wet it. So I go to the bathroom, soak it under some water, and I wring it almost as dry as I can, or I'll put it in a bath towel or a paper towel to get it decently damp. You don't want it soaking wet, but you don't want it super dry because then it's not going to blend out the product. So it's just slightly damp, and I'm going to go over the contour, making sure that I'm blending upwards towards the face. And yeah. And see how that all just blends together? Beautiful. Now I'm going to use the Juvia's Place I Am Magic setting powder in the shade Glowy, and it has this gorgeous warm undertone. And then I'm just going to apply that and then also blend it out with a disposable sponge. And I'm going to take that damp Sonia Kashuk blending sponge and literally just marry the contours and the highlights all together. Okay, now I'm going to take that ABH palette from medium to dark, and I'm going to take that burnt orange, and I'm going to apply that on all their high points of their face, right underneath the eyes, and on the center of the chin as well. And now I'm going to take my Real Techniques contour brush, and I'm going into my Black Radiance contour palette. This palette is super pigmented, so if you do use it, just make sure that you go in with a very light hand, and I'm just going to reinforce all the parts of the contour that I would like to reinforce. And then I'm going to go and blend those edges of the contour with that Sonia Kashuk brush. As you can tell, there's a routine with it, but look at how easy and seamlessly it's all blended, guys. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that blend, honey. Look at it. Gorgeous. Okay, now I'm going to take my Sigma flat definer brush, and everything I did on the top, I'm going to do on the bottom. So I'm going to start with the blue, and I'm going to go with the green, and then I'm going to take a bullet brush, a pencil brush, and then with a little bit of the yellow, and just blend those two together. I'm taking my favorite mascara, which is the CoverGirl Lash Blast in the orange tube. Freaking love it. And I'm going to take a disposable wand and then just brush through their eyelashes with it. And now I'm just going to apply a little bit of e.l.f. setting spray, and this will be the finished look. Alright, and there we go, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed today's look. If you did, please make sure to tap that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more makeup looks by me, then please check out more of my work on my Instagram at miles_MUA. And until next time, I'll see you soon.